The hard-nosed guy?
Thank you. Hi, how are you? Woo! Dallas! Woo! Yeah, all right. Glad to be home. I'm from Austin. It's so nice to be back in Texas. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. I know some of you have driven a long, long way, so thank you so much for coming out.
And go ahead and let's have a seat.
Yeah, let's have a seat.
They went all out and we got this table here for us.
Oh, God, it's lovely.
And here in just a few minutes, we're going to get to see the brand spanking new episode that'll debut on TNT coming up on March 2nd. But first of all, Ben, I got to hand it to you, bro. Got a lot of nice girls coming out to see you, man.
Well, thank you so much, sir.
And a few nice guys, but
I think you're not giving yourself enough credit. I think half of this is for you.
They're here to see me.
And you put the glasses on. How? Well, how sexy does he look with the glasses, ladies and gentlemen?
These are my little guy glasses. You know.
I think you're doing yourself a disservice, sir.
Speaking of which, we'll get started with the first question here from obviously a young lady here. Do you think California or Texas girls are pretty? Wait a minute, loaded question. He's from Texas, folks. What do you think?
I think there are so many beautiful women. And so little time. I think they're beautiful. I think Texas girls might have the edge. They might have the edge because they're nicer.
That's what it is.
They're nicer. You're nicer, a little bit nicer. Go ahead, it's okay.
They don't have their nose stuck up in the air like those California girls.
And Los Angeles tends to have a little bit of an attitude.
Yeah, I'm from California, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. So absolutely, Texas. Well done, ladies.
And here's a brilliant question.
Yeah.
Is it really hard to play a character named Ben?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. You got to memorize your own name, which is really challenging. I think it was 3 letters.
Do you do your own stunts?
As often as I can, yeah. Absolutely.
Is that right?
Yeah. In fact, I think I've done pretty much everything that we've filmed, even including the stuff that has not yet been shown on TNT. So,
cool.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Yeah, as much as I can. I like it.
Now, I kind of know this because I got the little bio here in front of me. Somebody wanted to know, where did you get your start? After you left Austin, you went to Virginia to college, and then to New York?
I went to the University of Virginia. I got my degree in Foreign Affairs and Economics. Woo! Who here is Foreign Affairs and Economics? No, probably not. Okay. Oh, yeah, that guy right there. Nice. See? And I would be wearing a tie and sitting in the audience right now. We would be best buddies. You look great. You look great, honestly. Now it's getting weird. I was a Foreign Affairs and Economics major, and obviously that leads you to being on the soap opera like the OC, and then to, thank you.
Look at that.
Oh, soap operas, nicely.
Any OC fans here?
Yeah. Getting into a hard-hitting cop drama like Southland, that's obviously what Foreign Affairs and Economics prepares you for. So my parents were just over the moon about spending $120,000 on a private education at the University of Virginia, and then having me go up to New York to become a waiter. They loved me so deeply for that.
That's awesome.
But I found my way, and I figured it out. So that's kind of my path towards getting on Southland.
Now, do you like working on the OC better or Southland? Apples and oranges.
They're apples and oranges. They really are. I'm very grateful for the OC, and I'm very grateful for Southland. I really have a wonderful time. Why is it so fuzzy?
I don't know.
Is it me? Is it you?
It's not me. I'm a radio guy.
Yeah, I know. You know what you're doing. I feel it's me. Anyway, I like both experiences, and Southland's definitely, it's probably the best working experience I've ever had in my life. It's really from a creative standpoint.
Now, speaking of which, along the same lines of the OC, would you ever go back to do a 6th season of the OC? Tell TNT to pick it up.
A 6th
season? That's what
we'd be skipping season 5.
Oh, okay. So the answer is,
well, what the fuck? Sure. Great. Honestly, yeah. Season 8, I'd love to.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds great. I'd like to be about 47 years old and still doing the OC.
Now, being quite a bit of difference from the OC, how did you prepare for your role on Southland? Did you have to do anything different from the other roles?
Oh, you've written the question out for me. That's lovely.
Yeah.
I did some ride-alongs with cops. We have
Oh, did you?
Yep. We have a tech advisor who's ex-LAPD, and his wife is also ex-LAPD. She actually taught classes at the police academy, so that was, very instructive for me. Given I'm like a rookie straight out of the academy, I can, follow her guidance, and she can berate me like she would any, fellow young boot straight out of the academy. So we had actually not unlimited access to the LAPD, but pretty broad access. As much as we wanted to learn, they would teach us, and sometimes teach us nicely, and sometimes not so nicely.
One of the things that struck me about the show was its realism, and it really reminded me a lot of Adam 12. You guys remember that show? In the realism of the Los Angeles Police Department and all that stuff. Are they striving to do that with you guys too?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what we're trying to do on the show is present the challenges of policing a city like Los Angeles, which is probably the most difficult city in the country to police because it's so vast.
Yeah.
As opposed to New York, which is also, varied ethnically, socioeconomically, racially. New York is at least compressed, geographically. It is a condensed area.
All on top of each other.
Exactly. LA is all over the place, so you basically end up in cars. It's two people to a car, two cops to a car, and they're responding to any number of calls at any given time. And it's, in one division, the LAPD is broken down into divisions. In one division, you might have, a dozen, 24 different races, different ethnicities, all sorts of socioeconomic disparities, and they never know what they're going into. So what we're trying to do is show, kind of like the series Cops, actually, the reality series Cops. We're trying to film it like that from the officer's perspective. So the audience never knows more than the officers know, which is quite frankly nothing. They go into a situation, they have no idea. It could be a domestic dispute, right, which is a very common call they get. A husband and a wife, or, a man and a woman having a dispute. That could be nothing. It could be, quite frankly, kind of humorous. If they're both drinking a little bit and they're kind of mad at each other, it's not exactly violent, it's just kind of, humorous.
The guy not wearing a shirt is definitely going to jail. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm back in Texas. But it could also be life-threatening, behind every closed door could be a loaded weapon. So, you never really know what you're getting into, and that's kind of what we're trying to capture on the show.
Now, your character obviously started with the inception of the series as a rookie, and you're being schooled by this veteran cop, John Cooper. Now, is your character going to develop with the new TNT series, or are you going to still kind of be the rookie guy getting crapped on all the time? Or
No, absolutely. It'll evolve as the series evolves, and hopefully, we'll be able to do a lot of episodes on TNT. But the trajectory of a young cop, he has to take his lumps initially. Because that's how he learns, and the job of my training officer is to break me, to try and make me quit. Because if I can't take it, if I can't, live up to his expectations, I'm no good to the rest of the police force. At the end of the day, it has to be about two officers who each have each other's back. And if I fail him, I will fail whoever my partner would be. So I'm actually, potentially lethal and deadly if I'm not capable of doing my job. So, but anyway.
So you seem to really get into your role and really portray the character that you're after there. If you could star in a movie with anyone, who would it be and why?
You.
Me? A radio guy from Dallas, Texas? Come on now.
You're gosh darn right. I would star in a movie with you. What movie would we do?
I don't know.
Come on.
Surfing for hot chicks. That's what that's
for hot chicks.
Surfing for hot chicks here in Dallas, Texas.
Too long a name to fit on a poster. Thank you for trying.
Who has influenced you as an actor? As a kid growing up?
Everyone that I saw on the big screen as a kid. I think most powerfully people like Paul Newman and Robert Redford that I grew up, kind of idolizing as as actors, but also as kind of human beings that have a certain like dignity about themselves. Well,